He delivers the inaugural statement at the workshop.
I'm proud to confirm that staff and members of my institution, the third arm of government, provided valuable inputs to the team of researchers that conducted the earlier two studies. Through active participation in the competition of structured questionnaires, attendance of focus groups, discussions, and participation both launch and validation workshops. The earlier studies focus on areas of considerable interest and concern to my institution. One, the role of the National Assembly and its relationship with the other arms of government, the executive and the judiciary, the effectiveness to efficiency and integrity of legislative organs and structures. 3, the capacity gaps at different levels, restricting optimum efficiency in the delivery of services. And 4, modernization of processes, procedures, and bylaws.
The representative of the UNECA outlined that the objectives of the ECA is to assist in institutional capacity assessment by identifying capacity gaps and to develop a better understanding of governance process, mechanisms, and policies.
The major scope of the project includes 3 main sets of indicators. The first is the ability to assess political representation. The second is to look at effectiveness of institutions.
The information contained in the recently concluded report was collected in different means. A team of enumerator students of the University of the Gambia were identified and trained to administer the research instruments as part of the data collection process. For GRTS News, I am Abdullah Baji.
The state opening of the National Assembly by His Excellency Sir Professor Alhaji Dr. Yahya Jammeh, President of the Republic of the Gambia, for the 2013 legislative year is slated for Thursday, 28 March 2013 at 10 a.m. prompt. A press release from the Office of the National Assembly Clerk says this exercise is in pursuance to the provisions of Section 77(1) of the 1997 Constitution, in which the President is required by the Constitution to at least once each year address a session of the National Assembly on the policies of government. Speakers and parliamentary delegations representing the National Assemblies of Turkey, Burkina Faso, and Guinea-Bissau are expected to attend. His Excellency the President shall address the session at 10 in the morning, and all invited guests are to be seated by 9 o'clock a.m. 76 Senegalese students on a study tour in the Gambia have been discussing means of promoting sub-regional integration, especially in the context of Dakar-Banjul relations. Aji Amisise reports the visit by business students from Afri University comes hard on the heels of similar outings in other West African countries.
Time in the hands of the youth folk. Second-year Afri University students from Dakar are currently on a study tour to the Gambia as part of efforts to bolster ties between the Gambia and Senegal. The team is a familiar one, even with a historical backing to it. Senegal and the Gambia are in every way connected, and these students believe that edge can be propelled to better the existing ties between the two countries.
The best country we can have now for our integration, it's Gambia. Because first of all, you know, if you see the map, Gambia and Senegal, personally, I can make a big difference between these two countries. Okay, and I think this is an occasion for us to discuss about our problems, to prospect for the future, and to see what we could do to not to develop everybody apart, you know what I'm saying, but to develop our countries together.
In my opinion, the integration regional is very important for us because Africa will be get together, united Africa, to most develop the continent. I think the development will not with the white people. We are an African, so we must develop our country.
The day's deliberations on topical issues highlighting factors that can bind the two peoples availed these students the opportunity to know how to go about the Senegambianization process. To them, the study tour presents different prospects on the academic and business fronts, given the burgeoning transformation in the Gambia's business market.
I think this is very useful because learning, you don't know everything, because we said traveling is is education, because education doesn't always stop in the four corners of the class. But going out, you meet new people, new environment. I think that is something very impressive. They told, from my own understanding, I think it's a very fruitful thing, because they visit to Gambia here, they will learn something new, they will know more about the Gambian culture and what we do in the Gambia, especially their interest in the business line.
Study tours providing students with course credit opportunities to identify and address issues they find interesting and are passionate about are becoming a popular part of learning and addressing specific challenges in an industry or region. This particular one exposes Afro University students of Dakar to those values that bind Senegal and the Gambia as one. For GRTS News, I am Aja Amisise.
Well, the third cabinet meeting held today was presided over by the President of the Republic instead of the Deputy Secretary to Cabinet, as earlier announced. The Royal Gibraltar Regiment and members of the Gambia Armed Forces will conduct a training exercise from Monday 11th March to Monday 8 April 2013 around the general area of Fajara, Yundum and the range in Brikama as part of the Army's pre-deployment training. A media dispatch from the Defense Headquarters reveals that the training exercise will involve the movement of troops, the use of blank and live ammunition, most especially around the Lance Corporal Bojan range in Brikama. The inhabitants of the mentioned areas are being assured that this is a routine exercise and that there's no cause for panic. They are, however, urged to avoid the area around the range in Brikama during the period of the exercise. That takes us to our first break. We'll be back with news from outside the Gambia. Welcome back. The delay in the announcement of election results in Kenya has been raising fears of vote rigging as well as tension in some quarters, especially in the city of Mombasa. Kenyan authorities attribute the delay to the new electronic voting system. The situation in the East African country is generally calm ahead of the declaration of tomorrow's election results. As we hear in this report, the decision to include some 340,000 invalid ballots in the count has angered supporters of Uhuru Kenyatta.
The announcement of Kenya's election results has been delayed for 3 days, raising suspicions of vote rigging and fanning fears of a repeat of the violence that marred the presidential elections in 2007, in which nearly 1,000 people died in the unrest that followed the announcement of the results.
People in Mombasa are afraid because they remember what happened in the last elections. They're afraid. Most of the shops have closed. A lot of people have gone up country, but I don't think it will be as bad this time. Not as bad as it was after the elections in 2007.
Kenyan authorities say the delay was caused by the new electronic voting system. On top of that, some 340,000 ballots declared invalid have since been included in the count, a move that has angered supporters of Uhuru Kenyatta, who so far has enjoyed a clear lead on Raila Odinga. More worrying is the discovery by police of a batch of marked voting ballots on a rubbish tip in northern Nairobi, a stronghold of Mr. Kenyatta's supporters. Kenya's Electoral Commission says it will open an investigation.
Yesterday we were told about a box in Meru, but when our people went there, they actually found it was genuine and it carried the votes that had been tallied and counted and agreed in a polling station. So some of these are just rumors to put us on a wild goose chase.
The Electoral Commission has promised to announce the final results on Friday. The situation in Kenya is so far calm. However, on Thursday, Raila Odinga's running mate angered many when he said that the results had been tampered with and that the tally should be stopped immediately.
21 UN peacekeepers have been taken hostage by Syrian rebels. The recent ambassador to the UN, who also heads the Security Council, described the move as bizarre, saying the soldiers from the Philippines have nothing to do with the Syrian crisis. Details by CFI.
Syrian rebels took 21 UN peacekeepers hostage on Wednesday in the Golan Heights. The Martyrs of Yarmouk Brigade have claimed responsibility. They accuse the UN of favoring Israel.